Hello everyone, welcome to the Criterion Connection. I'm Wade.
And I'm Joe.
And we were concluding our discussion of the Three Colors trilogy with Red.
It's true.
Yeah, and then at the end of the show we're going to talk about like our thoughts on the entire trilogy as a whole. I rewatched White and watched Red and stuff like that, and I liked Red a lot more than I did White.
I liked Red a lot more than I liked the other two.
Yeah. I think what I like about Red is the characters are like, you can get involved with the characters.
Yeah, they're very relatable. And what I said about how, like, Blue, Julie was really kind of detached from everybody.
Yeah.
In White, you're dealing with what on the surface level is kind of a dick move, if you will.
He's just also...
In Red, you're dealing with, very earnest characters, still flawed, but earnest nonetheless. And you get to see different sides of them. And you're really with Valentine, so much that you really can get attached to her.
Yeah.
And I think this movie solved all the problems I had on the other ones.
Yeah, like you said, Blue, Julie felt detached. She felt distant and cold.
And it made sense.
It made sense, but you didn't get like
it's hard to,
yeah,
really get super invested.
To a character that's not invested in anything else. And White is just a pathetic man. That's just like, he's
a pathetic man hell-bent on revenge.
Yeah. And then this one's like you have a down-your-luck kind of runway model. I mean, she literally... she's not lucky in love, I guess.
Okay.
Like there's a scene where she's at the bar, she plays the slots, and of course she doesn't get jackpot or anything.
Well, it turns out that's a good sign.
And then she's like... And then she'll just come back and try again. It's like love. Her luck, just try again. Keep trying again.
I love how they use that slot machine. When she loses... we're good.
Yeah.
When she won, she was like, "Oh shit."
Yeah.
Man. I got the triple cherry. That ain't good.
And it also deals with this retired judge, Kern.
Joseph Kern. Yeah.
And they have kind of like.
Oh, and they're Swiss, by the way.
Yeah.
That I didn't catch on to until much later.
Yeah. So basically, and there's also like another couple, which is kind of like they're just in the background,
Yeah, I mean...
they're in the background, but it makes sense near the end.
It's not... It's weird at first. You think you're going to follow each one equally, and you don't.
Yeah.
But it does tie in very nicely. It's not completely ancillary and useless. There's a lot of overlap between their story and the story we're following.
Yeah, like, I think August, he's...
yeah.
He's trying to, he wants to be a judge thanks to a textbook, but also you're dealing with Kern, who's a retired judge, so it's kind of like they're all kind of interconnecting.
Well, and also Kern is revealed later to know about those two characters, well, the man and the woman, and I think it's a really interesting thing when they bring up how, like, they hadn't met. They had only talked over the phone line, and I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, and the whole idea of like
for a relationship dynamic to play out that way.
Yeah, the whole thing with like the daughter's gonna find out, like that kind of conversation.
Yeah, that was a whole other story.
Yeah, like that was a
subplot.
That was a very kind of like it was one of those things like it was refreshing seeing like it's not like Kern gets with Valentine.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't get with her, but they kind of have this friendship.
They do have a love for one another by the end of the movie.
Yeah, but not like a relationship.
It's not
like platonic love.
Yeah, it's not a romantic love. It's not like, because he brings it up in the conversation towards the end that he didn't think he was going to love anyone again, and you see that with the way he deals with the dog earlier on.
Oh my god, the dog too.
Yeah, so you kind of, it all makes sense, and he explains it kind of right there. He's like, I didn't think I could love again. And he's like, until I met you. And it's really kind of a fatherly, friendly love, especially with what happens at the very end.
His dream.
the dream and what happens in real life.
Yeah, he's just and
you see how much. I gotta admit that actor really in that last scene put so much into it. It's such a great performance.
He's just staring at a TV.
Yeah,
but it's like great. So effective. Like just see, like you can see like a little smile on his face.
And
kind of not noticeable, but it's like kind of like a relief.
Yeah, this movie, Red, it trumps the other two, like by far. It is a fantastic movie. Mm-hmm. It's easy to watch. It doesn't drag.
The characters and relationships feel genuine.
The characters and the relationships feel genuine, and they're easy to understand and root for.
Like he's talking about his love life, just terrible love life, and he's like, I loved someone like back in the day and stuff, and just like, man, you're really feeling for these characters. Like when he was like, I never loved someone until you, or something like that. I got a little verklempt. I got a little teary. I'm like,
and he's the worst character that we see, really. I mean, we deal with Mark a little bit, and we deal with Michelle, Valentine's love interest early in the movie.
He's a piece of shit.
I don't know. It's just, we don't know that whole story.
Yeah.
But Joseph Kern, the judge, the former judge, what he does makes him a not like good character, like through and through.
Yeah.
He's very flawed, but he's somebody that you kind of understand as time goes on.
Yeah.
And it's just like Valentine, like once you get past those barriers, you find that person that's worth rooting for again.
Yeah.
And we got to mention, we talked about the cinematography in blue and the incorporation of the color.
Yeah.
We didn't really see it in white. And, of course, that's because white is such a background kind of color. It's not a dominant color.
It felt more... felt like when you're not in snow, it felt like kind of like lightened. Like the color was lightened.
It's still... It's super, super subtle that, unless you're looking for it, you're not going to see it.
Yeah.
Again, like my suspicions were confirmed. Once we got back to Red, that will come back in, and it's really good job. And
the dog's collar was red. I was like, oh, that's
dog's collar was red. Everything, like her shirt was red. Her skirt was red in another scene rather than her shirt. Like
and the color palette kind of felt a little more like the camera color felt more a little warmer.
Yeah, and having that red creep back in just like the blue in the first movie. Like I thought. These are two dominant colors that are going to come... They're going to stick out.
Yeah.
And I was right. And it's a great job. There's two really, really great shots in this film that I wanted to talk about.
Go ahead.
There's the opening sequence with the phone line.
Yes.
And then just following that phone line, and you have that like almost Stan Brakhage thing in the beginning, where I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, what movie am I watching? And then it just keeps following, and it's the electronic signal of the phone through all the wires.
Yeah, cool.
That was such an awesome, cool shot. And then the other one I really liked, I think it's when Valentine's talking to Joseph at one point. And I just remember she's like kind of kneeling down or standing by a wall, and there's a picture on the wall. And her reflections in the picture, taking up the whole frame, kind of just like what the subject would be. I was like, that was too good to be not on purpose.
Yeah. Okay, so we have to talk about the ending.
Okay, or spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. This would be a good transition to our thoughts on the trilogy as a whole. Mm-hmm. So there's this thing where this storm is coming.
Yep.
And Kern knows, and it's going to affect Valentine. She knows.
She's taking the ferry.
Yes.
To England.
An English channel and stuff like that.
Because she's got like a modeling gig over there, or she wants to see Michelle or something.
As you do.
That's why I thought, like you said, down on her luck. I'm like, she seems to be doing fine. She had that like 25 by 65 foot, ad on the street.
Oh, I understand, but more like love-wise. So a big tragedy happens, like thousands of people die, except 7 survivors. And then I'm like, oh no. Oh
Yeah,
no,
we're doing it.
They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. First person to come out, Julie from Blue.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no, oh no, oh no. And then some other person, the bartender.
He was,
They didn't show him. So I was like, oh, I guess
the name sounded familiar. I think he's in Blue, I want to say.
Yeah. And then you have Carol show up from White, and he's
Yeah.
like, of course, on a gurney, because he's wuss.
And then the composer from Blue.
Yeah. Oh, and, don't forget, Dominique. Is there. So it makes you think, when did this happen?
Right.
This predates White. And then August from
Red.
He's the character that's kind of in the background a little bit.
We focus on him, but you just don't understand his significance because it's such an imbalanced story.
Yeah. And then a very dazed Valentine shows up, and then her and August meet, and they stare into each other's eyes. And we cut back to Kern, and Kern's like, he's one, relieved that she's alive, and two,
that's the guy from the vision.
From the dream, yeah. And it ends with like a freeze frame on her, which kind of matches her poster.
It mirrors it.
Yeah.
It's for real.
And I am still torn on how I feel about this whole thing of tying together. I kind of feel like it was very tacked on.
With all the characters...
And why did we choose a giant tragedy? That could be what caused the rift between Carol and Dominique.
Yeah. And that's probably... Is that how Julie's husband died?
No.
No? Did he have a heart attack or something?
Car accident?
Car accident, that's right, because it was the brake line. I forgot, dude. I really did. I was 100% forgot.
Wait, did I watch a different movie? No. So, in the news sequence, it says that she's the widow of a composer.
Oh, yeah. You're right, yeah.
So I guess blue is first, red is second, and white is third in the order. Unless Dominique got out of jail and they got back together.
Well, no, because they said Carol's a businessman, not a barber.
Oh, man.
So this is after.
Hold on, so that means that she got out of prison?
I guess he helps her get out? Okay.
Unless that's a huge, jump in believability, or it's a continuity error. I don't know.
Well, they say he's a businessman. A prominent businessman.
Well, can barbers be businessmen?
He was an award-winning, competition-winning barber.
Yeah.
That's what they would have said. He was
award-winning beautician.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I said, I'm maybe they'll have them connect via tragedy of 1,000 people. Maybe Julie could have been at the fashion show, and you could have done that.
I didn't.
Or if you want to connect and maybe put a little more in there to not just
it was a bit. End. That was a bit much.
Yeah.
But that being said,
yes.
I did really like Red.
Mm-hmm.
It's easily my favorite out of the three. I think this movie is what largely carries the reputation of the three.
And Blue at an extent.
And Blue to a point, but because for me it's like
I like really shit too.
I really liked Red. And I can respect Blue. I see what he was doing, and he achieved what he was doing.
After watching it a second time, I liked Blue a lot more than I did
and
the
then
first time.
White just didn't sit with me very
After
well.
a second viewing of White, still the same feelings.
Yeah, so I think Red is easily the best. And I would say, individually, this would be a buy for me.
Oh, buy around skip, Red is a buy for me as well.
Red would be a buy for me. If I could buy it by itself, that's what I would do. To me, the ending works better if you don't see the other two. If you don't know those other characters, I think this ending works perfectly. As this is a standalone movie, I think it's strong enough to carry.
I also love how the news just don't care about people's privacy. They're like, oh, this person survived, this person survived, this person survived. And you're like, you couldn't have just said 7 survivors. You had to reveal the identities.
They did say it was 7, and then they revealed the identities.
Yeah, I'm just like, wow, that's way to have privacy here.
So the trilogy as a whole, and I've already touched on it a little bit. I kind of broke down how I feel about each one. This is gonna ruffle some feathers. I say it's okay. I say the trilogy is okay, because for me it's like
Things could be okay.
Blue was, it's good. It's technically, a great film.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it's one of those ones as a viewer, it's just going to be all right to good, in my opinion.
Okay.
And then White, I mean, we all know how I feel. And Red is great. Red's a great movie to appreciate on a technical level, as just a viewer that knows nothing of what's going on. It is a great film. And I think it balances out to make it a good trilogy.
It's fine to be okay.
It's
Some things
not,
can be average.
It's not... The trilogy itself is not a masterpiece, in my opinion. Like a true masterpiece. I think the single film, Red, is close. But I don't think the trilogy is a masterpiece. I like the ambition and the concept of what he was trying to do.
Yeah.
But I just don't think enough pulls together. And I think there's a lot of better thematic trilogies out there, including ones on the Criterion Collection.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
I
definitely worth watching.
I lean a little high, like a higher good. Like if I give it a grade, I give it a B plus.
I would just drop White though,
because it's 2 out of 3 ain't bad, right?
2 out of 3 is really good.
Blue is a really good movie. Once you get past the whole, you're not gonna get attached to the character. Second viewing, when you're just viewing it as you know how it plays out,
it's such a great story.
You see her kind of be more open throughout the movie, so you get more appreciation on a second viewing of Blue. White, still nothing.
Yeah.
I like compared to these two strong. Like you have a strong
opening.
Oh, the Blue has a strong emotional in a like kind of like grief, and then you have Red, who is like more in like kind of like a platonic love, a kind of like
it's such a warm movie.
Warm, just like the color. White is a whole lot of just like I don't get it, like
which almost fits.
Like it's just I don't.
It's the absence of color.
Between the two, it's like smack dab in between the two. It's definitely the weaker one of the 3. Definitely,
and it's one of those things.
Also, I just don't like Carol. Like I still don't get the movie.
It's just one of those things where you're like, I think Blue is a like film aficionado, film student movie. Like that's who that's for.
Cinematographers should watch that.
Yeah, it's a cinematographer's dream, just like Red. I think Red's for everybody.
And an editor for like color correction.
Yeah, I think Red is for anybody.
Yes.
As long as you can sit there and watch a foreign movie, like you're good. Like it's fine.
And White is if you like torture.
And White, that's a harsh.
I'm kidding.
White is a competently made movie. It's just
okay.
It doesn't grab you.
Yeah.
It does not grab you at all.
So that's our thoughts on the 3 Colors trilogy and Red, of course. Leave us a comment in the section. Leave us a comment in the comment section below. Let us know other trilogies. I know people said Decalogue, like we said before.
It's a little bit more in the trilogy.
That's going to be like a project. That's going to be a project where we dedicate weeks to.
Yeah.
And I would like to have more variety on the show every week.
We did L'Aventura, so it'd be cool to do the rest of those.
Ooh, that's not bad. Yeah. There's the Before trilogy.
There's the Before trilogy.
We also do the I Am Curious. It's not a trilogy, but
it's a duology.
Duology. You do that.
Those are fun.
Yeah. I've never seen them, so I don't know if they're fun or not. I don't know.
I mean, I'm just saying.
I mean,
we could do it.
There is the Godzilla set. It's not a
whole
trilogy.
Godzilla set.
But just leave us a comment section below what other suggestions for trilogies, retain suggestions. Also, we're doing something new next week. Starting for every month, we're going to do a spotlight episode, which is more like a new movie release. Like this month, I guess, would be Do the Right Thing, or last month would be Do the Right Thing. You know.
Yep.
Then we're gonna have this one. This month does not have a spotlight because we did the trilogy Blood Over. We're gonna have a Wade pick, a Joe pick, and we're gonna have a fan suggestion pick. So the order for the next 3 weeks is Wade pick, Joe pick, and fan suggestion pick. So you got 2 weeks to put more down. We have a whole list. We got a lot to pick from.
Yeah, we do.
Got a lot to pick from. So, next week, I'm just going to say it. I already know what
I'm
my
going to
pick...
try and not pick stuff that coincides with the fan suggestions. That's what I'm going to try.
Well, I'm going to pick one that's, just as, like, engaging, just as thematically, like, important.
I'm almost a little worried.
Stuff like this. So my pick next week is going to be Slacker.
Oh!
Which is a movie, when I watched in high school, I hate it. But
Okay.
that was... like over 10 years ago. So I'm trying to do the math. I don't want to do the math anymore. So that was like 10 years ago. I want to know how I feel now as someone who watches more film and didn't watch Dude, Where's My Car all the time. I've evolved. Did I? So next week we're going to do Slacker, which I'm excited for.
I'm always down to watch Slacker.
Yeah, so Slacker will be my pick for next week. So we're going to watch Slacker next week, so you should watch it too. It's just like the Three Colors trilogy. Exactly.
It's got a 3-act structure that follows a color format. And, just sit down and have some fun with us.
We can watch Slacker, maybe your pick. We can pitch for Criterion and have Hackers.
They haven't written me back yet.
Oh, damn. So we got Slacker and Hackers. Okay. So until next time, I'm Wade.
And I'm Joe.
And we will see you later.